Hi, Ashley. How are
Hello,
you doing
hello.
today?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. We have a special guest today. We have the one, the only, the host, Kristel of What the Fit podcast. Welcome,
Hello,
Welcome,
ladies. Thank you so much for
welcome.
having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for
fellow
joining
Cincinnatian
us.
here. So I'm just so excited to talk with you.
Wait, really quick.
Um,
Born and raised or import?
Import.
Okay.
Feels
yeah,
like chosen Cincinnati.
same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Chosen family. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley is from Dayton, born and raised.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yep.
by way of Florida, but
Made my
came
way
back.
back. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I lived in Florida as well. So
Okay.
shout out there.
Ooh,
Shout out.
where in Florida?
I lived in like Palm Bay near Melbourne, kind of
Okay.
like center of the state in like kindergarten through second grade.
Oh, nice,
Gotcha.
nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was in the Orlando area, but
Okay.
a little bit like
Yeah.
30 minutes downtown, outside of downtown. So
Shoot, no, we're
go
close
back
by
a
there.
lot. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Well, Ashley and I took a break last week for the holiday and my personal holiday, my birthday.
Oh, that is
So,
like them all.
what'd
Exactly.
you say?
That's like the best holiday of them all. Birthday.
Exactly. How was your 4th of July weekend?
My Fourth of July weekend was so good. It like kick-started really this like journey for me of like finding core summer and like holding on to core summer because I feel like summer just like comes and goes so fast and I am like a summer girly through and through. So Fourth of July for me was like I went to like a festival on the river. I had
Hmm.
like soft serve. I had a hot dog. Like the next day I went to a pool party. I was like, this is summer. This is summer. So my Fourth of July was amazing. And now I'm just like all about summer.
A really quick core summer. What does that mean for you? Like, is that like what's on your checklist?
So like when I think of like core summer to me, it's like all of the like nostalgic summer things. Like when like you're out and it's like a warm summer night, like the sun has set but it's still warm out and you see like fireflies, lightning bugs, whatever. Like the smell of the air is different. Like the way the light is hitting, it just like feels like summer. So to me,
Yeah.
that's like I went this week. I got up in the morning. I like went to the gym. I went to a friend's pool. I made a turkey sandwich and I put on like a big oversized orca whale t-shirt. And I was like, "This is summer." You know what I mean? Like this is the feeling.
I love it. Free Willy, right? No.
Yeah. But yeah, so everything
um,
that just like evokes that like that feeling when you're like, all right, this is it, we're in it. And I feel like every season kind of has that, right? You have like your core fall, your core winter.
Absolutely. I've been very mindful of that, especially with my little one, just like making sure that um it's so funny. Ashley and I interviewed a production designer Hannah Beekler, and she talked about how her mom made their lives magical. She feels like mothers have the ability to build worlds, and that's part of her inspiration because she's built some amazing worlds. And I took that to heart because I'm just like, oh my goodness, what type of world am I building for my child? So
Yeah.
I've been very mindful of things like you're mentioning as each season goes by. We actually missed one of our core summer activities this year, and that's the Strawberry Festival in Troy, Ohio, which happens every June. And I've been so caught up in work that like when I looked up and I was like, what's the date? We missed it. Baby girl was in tears. So
I,
I'm like,
I know
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It's like because it will pass you by if you are not
yeah,
like mindfully, like you said, like what kind of like magic are you creating? I think that's like so beautiful to think about for a child, but also like for ourselves. Like
yes,
yeah.
what kind of
yes,
like magic are we building for ourselves too?
yeah.
Yeah. One of the nice things about Florida was that never-ending summer feel. So I've had to dial that back a bit being back here. So now to your point, I definitely tried to hold on. And for a while, it just felt like June was not, she wasn't
I
moving.
agree.
She
I
wasn't
She
agree.
getting
was
there.
cool.
The
She was
weather
very
wasn't moving me.
mild.
I agree.
She wasn't
Yeah.
getting us there. So a
That's why, yeah.
thousand percent, it does finally feel like summer. I'm with you. Summer is my absolute favorite season. And don't talk to me about a summer night. Let me start singing some Grease. Okay.
I know. I get so
The
excited thinking about it.
best.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the best, truly.
So how was your holiday weekend?
I was in Chicago, my favorite city in
Yes.
these
For summer.
United
For
States.
summer.
It
Summer in
was
Chicago's good.
wonderful. Now, my fourth ended up having to be a little bit more restful just because I had a crazy travel experience. I have not been having good flights lately. I've been having
I
between
feel so sorry for
delays,
you.
and so literally was in the airport for 8 hours on the third. Ended up canceling our flight when we were on the plane about to take off. We found out before the pilot because we all got a text
Oh my
saying the
God.
flight had been canceled. So we ended up driving instead and making it into town around 1 a.m. Eastern
I was
time.
gonna say it'll probably be quicker to drive.
Yeah.
Why did they cancel that flight?
Weather, like Chicago was having really bad weather on the
Mm.
third. And so the flight, even before us, kept getting pushed, pushed, pushed. They actually finally made it in. And then that plane just sat on the tarmac for hours while they were at like a ground stop. So it was no bueno. We
Mm.
drove, we made it because I refused to spend one night where I wasn't paying and that hotel room was sitting cold. So we got there, we made it. So the fourth was a little bit more restful. And then, on we did get a few activities in. To your point, definitely had to eat a hot dog. I think that was my first major lunch in Chicago was a Chicago hot dog.
And a
So
Chicago dog too hits different.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's good.
So it was good.
What
What
was
about
a
yours?
favorite takeaway from your Chicago trip?
Oh man. So there was several things going on. Two of the biggest takeaways for this trip was Taste Chicago.
Yes.
Very overwhelmed in terms of the crowd, I have to
I can
say.
only imagine. Taste of Cincinnati is overwhelming, and we're nowhere near.
And that's the thing. I was like, maybe I've just gotten back used to my little small town vibes that I love and enjoy because I always say I'm a small town girl who enjoys a big city adjacency. Like, that's not my everyday, though. So going there, I was like, my anxiety is spiking. It feels like how you feel when you're like in stop and go traffic in a car, but you're a human trying to just walk through the streets. Like, get
It's
out of
not
the
pleasant.
way.
It's not pleasant. Yeah.
Oh, and but the nice thing was Common, right? So we got to see Common, Chicago
Oh,
native.
love Common. Was Jennifer
Exactly.
there?
So he teased like she was gonna come out, but he really just ended up making it a moment where he brought a fan up on stage and did a little song and what have you. It would have been exciting if she came out though. He referenced her multiple times, like, oh, I have
She's a
a
Chicago
partner from the
native,
Shy. And yeah, he made
native.
reference.
Yep.
But one thing Common always does is that man looks good. Okay? He looked it
One
good.
that moisturized, that bald head is shining.
Honey,
Okay.
he
And
looked
he's
good.
probably well dressed, I'm sure.
Yes, he looked
Yes.
great. He looked
Did he wear
great.
color? He always looks great in color
He had
too.
on like khaki, but it worked
Oh,
for the summer. It was like
interesting.
summer vibe. It reminded you of
Yeah.
the Obama tan suit. You know what I mean? It was a vibe. And speaking of, the other highlight was going to the Obama Center. The Obama Center that opened up on Juneteenth. We were able to go. Now,
Nice.
tickets for the museum portion still
Sold
push
out.
way out.
Yeah.
But if you go, you're still able to visit the campus. So you can still go to the library.
Which is
You can still
large.
go, yeah, you can still go up to like the garden that they've planted a bunch of stuff up in. You can still go to the forum that houses the actual restaurant where they have a chef who
Yeah.
does a lot of inspired meals based off of their family. Like I think there's even like a rice and beans recipe from like the Obama's mom and all this stuff. So it was just overall just an experience to be able to go. People are still very excited, obviously. And what sucks is going to the like the getting your merch and stuff as you're leaving. There was a guy next to me who was like, I have an extra ticket that I could give you to go to the museum. And I was like, I would need two, right? Because it was
I
me
was gonna say
and my
you're not
mom.
about to leave your mom.
No. But you know what's crazy? My mom ended up saying just to me like the other day, she was like, Ash, I was thinking about that guy offering that museum ticket. What you could have done if they allowed us, you could have went and you could have like called me on your phone and we could have videoed and you could have just shown me the museum as you were walking through. And I was like, that's sweet,
Mom.
but I'm not I was not doing, you know what I mean? Because it's a
Yes.
moment to experience together, right? And we're here together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we still both really enjoyed the time though. We got some merch and I'm looking forward to wearing my like I think I got like a pullover because I like just like you I love like the merch stuff that like you're that
I'm wearing
one
my Bruno
hoodie.
Mars shirt
Yeah.
right
Oh,
now.
I
I
love
saw him in Columbus. Actually, when I had lunch with you, Kristel,
Yeah.
I wore my other Bruno Mars.
Yes, yeah. I also like I'm beelining for that merch table. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I want a hat, I want a t-shirt, something.
And you know what's crazy, ladies, is apparently we caught it at a time where at least the line wasn't crazy because I guess they said often it's a 2 hour line just to get into the merch shop there. So that just
Wow.
shows you how like excited people still are to visit right now.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
love it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so you all's fourth was a lot of fun. Mine was too. It's been birthday celebration all month long. We went to Pep and Dolores for my birthday dinner, which is one of my favorite restaurants here in Cincinnati. Cincinnati has some of the best restaurants downtown, and that's one of them. What else did we do? We just kept it really chilled. Like I was um you know, my zodiac sign is a Cancer, and because of that, people are like, "Oh, they're homebodies." I really am. Sometimes it's just like I'm with my family. I got the dog. We're good. We're chilled, and people are like, "You're okay." I'm like, I was living my life.
That,
I had 5 days off of work in a row. I was like, "Thank you, rest."
Amen. Amen.
that
I
is
cannot
gorgeous.
tell you how sad it is when that time goes way too fast.
So
The
fast,
time off
so
goes
fast.
so fast.
I feel like you need almost the way I think about it, you need like a 1 to 2 day buffer to even get your mind in the right frame that you're not working. So
Yes,
Yep.
it's like, okay, so you spend
yes,
1 to 2 days still thinking about the work that you have to do, or like you're still like in that overdrive mode. And so
yep,
what you maybe get 1 to 2 days because then in the back half, you're thinking about going back.
Yep. You're
exactly.
so right. You're
It's
so
so
Like
funny that
right.
you
3
say
hours.
that. So I showed up to work on that Wednesday, and people are like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm great. I'm fantastic." I'm like, "Well, you got 5 days." Like I could do this.
Yeah.
But I did all the girly things. I'm a spa girly. Went to the spa, got eyebrows done, hair done. Like I did all the pampering things. So to celebrate another year. Um, and
Happy belated birthday. I don't even think we said it
thank
on the
you.
pod. Happy belated birthday, girl.
Thank you very much. I have entered a new decade. I will go ahead and say it on the mic.
Hell yeah.
I was talking to my parents and I was like, I am 40, but I feel like I'm 32. Like, you know what I
A
And you
decade.
know what helps with that? COVID robbed us of how many years of life? So
Truly,
I am about
truly.
4 years younger than whatever is on my birth certificate.
It's funny that you say that because like I was looking at we'll go on after this. I was looking at some old baby pictures on my phone, and my daughter was like, "Oh, mom," she's looking at young pictures of her and me. And I was like, "Look at me. I was a teenage mom." And she's like, "What were you?" I was like, "No, I was 31, but I felt like it." Like,
Same thing. Same thing.
You should have run with that lie. Like, Amara, I thought you knew that. Mom is young. She's vibrant. She's living.
all right. So speaking of taking a break and podcasting, What the Fit is 8 years old.
Yes. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I
Oh,
was just, yeah, like reflecting and I was like, do I even remember a time in my life when I wasn't podcasting? Which like of course I do, but it's like it has
it
been
becomes
more
a
than
part of you and your routine. Like,
yeah.
seriously, Ashley and I've been doing this for it'll be 6 years this year, and it's like
Yep.
every Wednesday, every Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just it's probably the same for you guys. Like you don't even think about like, oh, this is like something I have to do. Like it is just like this is what I do. This is
Mm-hmm.
what we do.
Yeah, it
Yep.
really
And how you
is.
like frame, I think for me too, it's so much like mental because I'm sure you guys are the same thinking about what content are we sharing, what stories are we talking about, like what ideas do I want to kind of sort through my own head before I say them out loud. Like it's like so much a part of like my whole like operating system now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Absolutely. What inspired you to start your podcast 8 years ago?
So I started listening to podcasts in like 2012, but even before then, when I was very little, I would pretend to both interview people and be the one interviewed. So it would really look like just me in the bathtub, like interviewing a fake person and me answering in return. So I think it was because my mom was watching. It was the 90s, right? It was there were so many talk shows. I was
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite?
I mean, I loved Oprah, of course. I did like a
Of
whole
course.
book report, like a situation on her. Was in the library researching about Oprah. Like I loved Oprah. I mean, I Maury,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Maury. Who else? Those are probably honestly the big ones. Sally Jesse Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about
Mm-hmm.
her. Yep.
Ricky
Yep.
Lake, Jenny
Ricky Lake.
Yes,
Jones.
yes,
Yep.
Ricky
I
Lake.
mean, especially during
Yep.
the summer, me and my brother,
Absolutely.
we were set for all of these talk shows every
Period.
day.
I
Jenny
was like 10.
Jones, crazy. You could never get away with like, let me bring my bully out on stage and show them what I've done with my life now. Shows are wild.
The makeovers, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So, I think that was just kind of like in the ethos. But when I started listening to podcasts, I had this kind of like first little like tickle of like, I think I would love to do this. And that idea really just like sat in the background for years, from like 2012 to probably to 2018. It was just always there. And it would really like start to nag me. Like the closer we got up to starting, I was just like, I felt like there was like this pressure that I was like not doing something I was supposed to do. But I didn't have
Hmm.
like the gumption. I didn't have like the like fire lit under me to really do anything. I was just kind of like suffering in my own like, oh, I want to do this. I should do this, but how do I start? What do I do? All those questions. And I was out to a work lunch, and a colleague was like, "Oh my gosh, have you heard of this new podcast these girls started?" And I can't even remember like what the podcast was at this point, but this was early 2018. And in that moment, I just had this feeling of like, what if someone starts my podcast before I do? Like it was just this thought, maybe just like the reflection of like, here's other people that were seemingly just, like me kind of people that were doing it. Like if I saw them do it, like why couldn't I do it? So that afternoon, I texted a friend and ClassPass. Are you guys familiar with ClassPass, the like fitness based app that you can book
Yes.
all,
Yes.
Yes.
so that had just come to Cincinnati and it was like all the rage. Everyone was on ClassPass and trying out different fitness studios. And for the first time, it really let you go and try a bunch of different places without committing to, a full membership.
Hmm.
So a friend and I, we were kind of bouncing around and just doing a bunch of different like workout classes and fitness classes. And I texted her and I was like, do you want to start a podcast where we talk about, fitness, lifestyle, wellness stuff, and we can interview all of these instructors and studio owners and all of that. And like that could be the podcast. And the friend was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we started, our first episode came out in July of 2018. And she was co-hosted with me for the first 6 months. And kind of at the end of 2018, she came to me and she was like, this is yours. This is your baby. Like, you need to run with it. I would only be slowing you down. So like, please take it. And so, yeah, so that's really how it got started. And primarily in the beginning, it was really, really heavily focused on like physical fitness and working out. And I can remember like the first time I had an intuitive eating coach on. This is like pre-COVID 2018. Intuitive eating was like really like new onto the scene. And we were talking about, disordered eating. And it was kind of the first time I was speaking publicly about my experience with disordered eating and over exercising and just body image and how women have to navigate all of those complexities. And that's when it kind of really hit me that I was like, ooh, there's more to talk about here than just what's going on in the physical body.
Yeah.
Um, and then it really started kind of, weaving into more of, how do we take care of ourselves, whatever it is that we're doing, not just the fitness trainers and the coaches. So I started talking to entrepreneurs and I started talking to practitioners and comedians and entertainers and really just anyone that was doing cool stuff around the city. I really wanted to kind of figure out what is it that you do to take care of yourself? Because I
Yep.
think the more examples that people hear, and there are so many different ways that it can be easier for us to find, what we need individually. to show up as our best selves.
I love
Absolutely.
that. Really quick, to your point about you didn't want someone else to have your podcast. There's this rumor that Michael Jackson would get up in the middle of the night to record a song because he didn't want Prince to steal it. Like,
Or Jermaine.
You
right?
know,
That,
sometimes you need that. I don't know what it is. That like little
that
like
lore. Yeah.
that's something of just like someone else might do it, so you better do it. Yeah, I
I
don't know
think
where it
that
came from, honestly.
I
I
think that
really
also just shows how purpose driven what you wanted to
Yes.
do was, right? That it sat in your soul that way.
yeah.
Because that's really
Yeah.
like, I have an idea and I can't not
Oh, it
get
was
it
like
out. I can't
yeah,
not express it. And
exactly.
that aligns with purpose. I want to say too, I was curious about the mental health aspect of what the fit. Cause I know for me personally, I was never a big like workout person necessarily, but I got really, really into yoga over the last 3 to 4 years, especially living in Florida. I found a studio. I fell in love with all this stuff. And while it was great for physical health, it was the mental health benefits that really pushed me to stick with it. I ended up getting my yoga teacher training certification, all these things. And it was just like the idea, though, of sometimes you may start on a journey with the physical side, but then you realize all the other areas that it helps you with in life, like helps you with stress, helps you figure out like how to find a balance. Especially we were talking about before we started recording, like that balance you may need between work and life so you don't get burnt out constantly or you're not constantly exhausted and feeling, and so I'm sure everybody who tells their story, who comes on your podcast, shares those aspects that are so helpful for all of us to hear about, which is like, how are you surviving just in the
Yeah.
day to day of
How are
this
you being a
life?
human? How are you being
Yeah.
a human? Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting because, I the podcast is just so intertwined with my life, right? And what I'm going through and what I'm feeling and what's coming up for me and, finding stories that I'm drawn to and that I find interesting. And it really has, like, looking back over the 8 years, like, been this evolution along with me. So of course, yeah, what started as this idea and kind of a narrow mindset over the years has really just taken on a life of its own. And I released the first episode of the podcast, like I said, July of 2018, and 3 weeks later my younger brother died in a motorcycle accident.
Wow.
I didn't talk about it on the podcast at all until maybe 6 months later. Just like I kept going. I did what I was going to do, and you can see through the years and just the content and the guests and the stories that we're sharing, the vulnerabilities that I'm sharing, like like as I've moved through my grief journey and been able to like open up to that and actually get close to that, you can see how the podcast has like really evolved. And so much now that I just had my 8 year anniversary episode, and I really, am toying with this idea of like, have I outgrown what the fit in the way that, it has started that 8 years ago. And now like what does it look like going forward? So I don't know. Those are questions I'll get to answer in the coming years, which is fun and exciting.
Don't you love that about the podcast space in general, though? It's like there is so much opportunity for evolution. Like you can decide
Yeah.
tomorrow, I do want another opportunity. You can start a new podcast, take your audience with you. You
Yeah.
can revamp your current show and structure. You have no constraints, you have no restrictions, you have no FCC, you have nothing stopping you from doing
Cool.
whatever you want to do. It's one of my favorite things about podcasting.
We can just share stories. We can just tell stories. Because like
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like storytelling is like what I love and what I'm drawn to.
exactly.
Yeah.
So sorry for your loss. I want to make sure I say
Oh, no,
that.
thank you. Yeah, I
So
appreciate
sorry.
that.
And thank you for your vulnerability to your how open you are with telling your story and your journey. That's really important.
Yeah, I joke around that like What the Fit is a grief podcast disguised as a fitness lifestyle podcast. So we get people in the door of being able to talk about and really just like in my mind embrace the like duality and like the beautiful emotion that is grief, that it's both beautiful and wonderful and love and dark and painful and scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, definitely sorry for the loss for you and your family. And I'm glad you found such a great outlet. Have you brought your family, any other family members on to kind of talk about the grief aspect of things?
Not specifically to talk about grief, which would be really interesting, and that's a good idea. But Before my grandmother passed away in August of 2024, and she raised me. She was like a mother figure to me. I had her on the podcast, and we got to talk about kind of like her lifelong fitness journey. And she had found yoga at like 76 at her local YMCA, and
Yeah.
she ranted and raved. This is like a God-fearing, like church-going woman was like, I felt closer to God at yoga than I did at church. Like I have her on the record saying that. So that was like
Oh,
so, so special to me. My brother's been on like just for like fun stuff, but it would be really interesting to talk about grief with them. I think that would be we might have to like prepare for that one
yeah.
emotionally as a family.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm
But
sure.
that's like,
So, what's your favorite exercise?
oh, great question. Walking. Walking. It's
Walking's
Thousand
that
percent.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Thousand
I don't know
percent.
why it took us that this long as a society to be like walking.
I am thinking about as soon as right before we were starting to record, I was like, okay, what do I want to do after this recording? I'm going for a walk. I love walking. Like I am like psychologically addicted to walking. Good to be outside. Your brain just gets to like take it away. You're usually not in front of a screen. Any kind of walk.
Now, do you
Hiking.
do earbuds or no, or are you just present in the walking?
Oh, I've got some like club jams going on in my
Yeah, okay.
Do you ever
um
hit that walking meditation moment where you're floating?
yes.
You're
Yeah.
floating in your body.
Yes. It's lovely. And I'll
Yeah.
listen to podcasts when I walk, I'll listen to audiobooks when I walk. But no, to be quite frank, never much of a earphoneless girly on the walks. I like my distraction, I guess. My
No,
entertainment.
I do too. But some people are like, if you just
It is.
completely unplug and whatever, I'm like, one step at a time,
One
literally.
step at one time.
To
That's lovely.
each their own. It's
I yeah,
fine.
I don't mean to brag though. I did recently go on a walk this week where I had my headphones in and I didn't realize that there wasn't music playing for like 10 minutes. So I was alone with my thoughts for a total of 10 minutes probably.
Have you ever taught a class, a
No.
fitness class?
I'm
Because
trying I was yeah, go
yeah,
ahead. Go.
yeah. No, because you talked about how much you love, exercising. It's very part of like
Mhm.
who you are in terms of your identity. So I'm
Yeah.
just curious if you ever taught a class.
I have never taught a class, I don't think. I have thought about it for sure. There was a time period where I really wanted to be a yoga teacher. I went through that. Then I wanted to do Pilates. I thought about that. But I think at the end of the day, too, it was something like the group fitness in particular for that season of my life. I like loved it so much where I didn't want to like I wanted to always be able to show up at a class without knowing too much of like the behind the scenes so I could keep the magic of it. But
And
no,
that's so fair because it does
yeah,
become a job, just
yeah,
like every other job if you do
yep,
it. Do you
yep.
prefer to work out at home or amongst a community of people in a class?
I would say my preference is amongst a community of people. Like I love group workouts. I love group fitness. I always have. That's like really how my fitness journey began was through group fitness at like a YMCA doing step aerobics and like a 6 a.m. boot camp and all kinds of crazy, crazy things. But now, and that's my preference, but that's not how my workout routine looks now. I go to the downtown Y and just kind of like I do my own thing. My approach to fitness right now is really different than it was before. I took 8 months off of the gym recently, and this is coming from someone who, from 19 to 37, I had never went more than 1 week without working out. So 1 week would be the
Wow,
longest break in that entire show. I'm not kidding. I promise you.
that's impressive.
It,
Yeah.
it's a little cuckoo. It's a little cuckoo, if you ask me. But, you
At
know,
least it's not crack. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
sure.
Like,
Sure, sure. But I mean, I will say, like
Actually,
anything that you overdo, I had lasting effects and consequences
yeah.
from
really?
yeah, because I'm talking about like I intensely exercised, and like
Mm,
multiple times a day for years at a time. and really
Mm.
pushed my body. I was an endurance athlete. I would compete at like, you've probably seen like high rocks and, different races and just like that sort of thing. I really like trained intensely. And I've had like nervous system consequences just from like so much cardio, just
Mm.
always having your body in this elevated state of stress is what it's doing. And I have physical injuries, like my hips are torn apart because they're just so like the cartilage is worn down. I have osteoarthritis, I have labrum tears. Like did not go without consequence, like that much working out. Um, and so when about 8 months ago, about a year ago, I had a total career schedule switch. I went from 14 years working in corporate as a global leader in HR and talent acquisition. I got laid off and became a bartender and wanted to, pursue the podcast full time. So as you can imagine, that switch in schedule is quite truthfully night and day. So
Yeah.
I'm going into work at 9 p.m. I get out at 3:30. I go to bed at 4:30. I wake up 11, 12. Totally different than your 8 to 5. And so in that mix and just trying to figure out this like new identity and this new path and all of that, um, I like slowly was kind of like, okay, I missed a gym session, which was like never heard of. And then I'd miss another one. And I was just honestly so tired from working this now very physical job, whereas before I'm sitting at a desk. And so yeah, I could after work go out and kill myself in the gym. I had so much physical energy. So I was just getting used to all of that. I was dealing with some injuries and I ended up just kind of like making the decision of like, what will it be if I don't go to the gym? Who will I be if I don't work out every day? What will people think about me? What will I think about myself?
Mm.
What does that all look like? And so it was a pretty like conscious effort, along with some other things that were just like, maybe it's just time to take a break. Like you've been doing a lot for your body. This isn't a forever, I'm done working out. Working out is obviously very good. We know, right? We
Hmm.
don't have to even talk. We know. But for me, it was like this whole process of kind of shedding a bunch of different identities where I was like, let's see what this is like. And so I did that, and I'm back at the gym now. This is probably like week 3 or 4. So it's really kind of fun to restart. I mean, fun and not fun because the process of getting back into shape is never really enjoyable,
Yeah.
It's painful. It's
Yeah.
it's it's uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, like I love working out. I really do. I love it. I just now want to see like what's that like if it's not tied to like a core worthiness of like who I am as a person, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you moved to video in the last year?
Yes. About 1 year ago. Yeah, exactly 1 year ago. But for the 7 year anniversary is when we went to video. So it's been just about a year.
How was that transition and do you recommend it? Because Ashley and I, we've been talking about video for the longest time and we kind of were just like, okay, let's just put it out there. We plan
Mhm.
on evolving, but you
Yeah.
have a really nice setup for your podcast.
Thank you.
How is that for you?
Um, so it was definitely a a harder transition, I think. Like I had the experience of, first recording like the first podcast audio only, and you hear your voice and you're like, I don't like the sound of that. And that can like go away pretty quickly.
Hmm.
With the video, it's tough because you're not used to seeing what you look like in conversation with another person, you know?
I was gonna say, do you have a favorite side? Like,
I mean,
and
that's part of it too. Like setting up the shot, you're like, you have to feel comfortable. So it's like the first couple months, I would say, yeah, the maybe like first like 4 to 8 episodes, I felt like the content and the conversations suffered from my end because I was so aware of being
Mm.
on video and where it's audio, like I could sit here on my couch with them and we're lost. Like we've got headphones on, like we're not thinking about anything else and the conversations could flow so organically. And even if guests are, really nervous, that can kind of fall away relatively quickly. When you put a camera on someone's face and then, my own face, like the vulnerability tends to be harder to access, at least what I've found. So it took some time, and then it was like one day it clicked where I was watching the video back, and I was just like, "This is what I look like, and I must accept it." You know,
I always think of that line from the Princess Diaries. As always, this is as good as it's gonna get.
right? Like this, if I'm, if I'm purposeful about sharing these stories, then this is, the way it's going. And Delora, to answer your second part of your question, like I think it was something to the effect of like, is it worth it, or has it been beneficial? And yes, in the last year, according to my Spotify data, my audience increased 850% from
Wow.
Oh,
video. The
Wow.
audience
Yeah.
reach, like who is seeing the content, who's engaging with the content. So yeah, it's where the media form is headed. It's kind of where the craft is headed. So I definitely recommend it. But I think it was an adjustment for me for sure. And even
Hmm.
now, like it's harder for me to do solo episodes on camera when it's just me. I feel this pressure to like have it all together. And rather than before when I would do audio only, I could just kind of like talk freely and kind of like make it up as I went, and it felt more safe. I don't know what
the stream of consciousness versus
I
like,
I don't know, yeah,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
Well,
what that
because there's
is.
a presentation aspect that comes with visual, right?
Yeah,
very
And
true. Yeah,
people, as soon as they have access to a visual, they are very focused on that.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
So,
You're
it,
right.
difference between TV and radio, if we go back to the OGs,
I know it is different. I recorded a episode for my brother who passed away. What would have been his 34th birthday. I kind of recorded an episode just like reflecting and talking about things like that. And I did it at a time when my producer was out of the country traveling, so I knew we weren't gonna be able to do video. And I was like, well, this is a perfect opportunity that I can talk about this like very vulnerable topic. And I felt like I was able to talk about it much more like eloquently, and like my message to be more clear and concise than if I was on camera. So I think it's something I'm still working through. I'm still trying to kind of figure out and practice. And if I think about, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've only been doing video for 1 year. So, there's,
grace.
yes, exactly, exactly.
absolutely. Well, as I mentioned earlier, this is our headlines hot topics episode, and so let's get into some pop culture mess, shall
I
we?
love pop culture podcasts. It's like my favorite genre of podcast. So,
Yay.
kudos.
Yay!
Yeah.
So, I have to ask you:
Mhm.
are you a Taylor Swift fan? Like, where are you on the Swifty spectrum, so to speak?
All right. I spent $700 on a ticket to the Eras tour, if that will tell you anything that you need to know. Um,
Okay, I love it. I love it.
yeah. So and I will say, in recent the Eras tour was the height for me, and I think everyone else on planet Earth, right? She really did something to us there. So before that, like I would listen to her when the albums came out. I listened to her when I was in college, so she had this very like nostalgia feel for me. I kind of felt like I grew up with her music. We're, of the same age, all of those sort of things. And I had the best time at the Eras tour. Like the Eras tour like unlocked this potential and this magic in me that like allowed me to end this terrible relationship. Like it was the catalyst to like my life starting over, all this like great things. But since then, and maybe it was because we just saw what she was capable of with this Eras tour, that I'm like, this woman is too powerful. There's too much. It's too much now. It's too
Interesting.
much now for me. It's a little too much now for me.
It's too much. Okay. So Ashley and I, we are on different,
Yeah,
we're
what's
probably on the other side of the spectrum.
great.
However, I was a Swiftie up until Red. Red, no. Up until I didn't like 1989.
I didn't even remember that album coming out when it did. Like I don't know where I was. I don't know what was happening in my life,
So
but I
I
was
I
not
think
bored at all.
so with that being said, I loved Red, everything up until Red. And then after that, I kind of fell off. She kind of got me a little bit with folklore, a
She
little
got me.
bit.
She
Because
got me.
I'm a fall girly. That's one of my favorite seasons. It was
It
very
was
like
COVID.
vibey.
And
It was
she
COVID.
worked with a
Yeah,
bunch of artists that had like a great, no, that was good. That was good.
yeah. But to your point, I started losing patience with Taylor because I also feel like she hasn't really grown up a little bit. Like, I'm like, I feel like we're kind of stuck.
We're
And
stuck.
especially with
We're
this
stuck in a
latest
fairy tale.
album, what'd you say?
I said we're stuck in a fairy tale, and we're
Yeah,
stuck in a fairy tale
yeah.
garden, and we cannot get out of it.
And that's where I'm just like, you're not in high school anymore. You're a billionaire woman. And I feel like I don't know, is the term arrested development somewhere in there? Like, I feel
They
like
like
we got
very famous people. They like get stuck in the age that they become very famous.
famous. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yep.
I feel like we get that with her. And I think this is represented in her wedding and her choices. But Ashley, speak to your thoughts on
Yes.
Taylor.
I want to hear Ashley's thoughts,
Listen,
honestly.
I was gonna leave this to you guys because at the end of the day, the end of the day, I've never been a Swiftie. Now, I will say I've always had a healthy respect for, first of all, women doing their thing in any facet of life, right? So I've
Absolutely.
said multiple times on here, I don't want it to come across like I'm a Taylor Swift hater because I think she is very talented in her songwriting abilities. I think she's a master storyteller. I think for the fandom and level of talent, they've never aligned for me, especially when you start. I think it has always most offended me when it's come from this comparison with her and Beyonce. And I've been a huge Beyonce fan, and I hate the comparison because I'm like, they're not the same
It's
type of
apples and
artist
oranges.
and they're
Yes.
not the same type of entertainer. And
Mm-hmm.
to talk about them in that same vein upsets me. So I had to kind of let that go. But I do think there's obviously a magic to Taylor Swift and a relatability still that has propelled her to the level she's found. And I think I said this to Delora about her and Travis. Like, it does seem like they must be a good match. Maybe Ariana needs to go date her a little footballer or something too to find her little some Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey magic
And
because
this is
this is
where,
working for them, and that's
so for
great.
me, I didn't think they were last. I thought they were put together.
I don't
I
think
was one of
anyone
those
thought they would
people.
last. That's why it's
I
Did
like
you think they were together?
great.
I can remember where I was when I was listening to a podcast where someone they had the first kind of like rumored like, oh, Travis Kelsey like asked out Taylor Swift, whatever, and I was like, this is a joke. It's a joke.
Are
And
you
then
a fan? Let me ask you really quick. Sorry to interrupt you. Are you a fan of dating professional athletes? What is your stance on relationships with professional athletes?
I think that you've got to know what you're getting into, right? You got to know what you're getting into.
Enter at your own risk.
And then it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I support women's rights and women's wrongs, like whatever you,
I'm
Yes.
taking that. I'm taking that.
whatever,
I
whatever,
support women's rights and women's wrongs. You hear me?
because
Absolutely.
everyone is deserving of love and a good relationship and all of that. And I think that if that is the path you want to take, then you know the path that you are going to take. You know it.
The only professional
Was
athlete I
rooting
would trust
for,
is one that Sierra set me up with. That is the only
period.
one
Russell and
that
his
I'm
friends.
trusting.
And I had such high hopes with Meg and freaking Clay. Oh,
PBS logo Thompson.
Clay
Jesus.
bamboozled us all. That's all I have to say to that.
Hurt.
But when it came to Taylor and Kelsey, I didn't think they were going to be together. But they proved all of us wrong because they got married on July 3rd at Madison Square Garden. Kristel, I have to tell you, I thought they were lying when they were like, Taylor Swift is getting married at MSG. I was like, there's no way on this green earth this is happening. Like, she wanted privacy. You don't get privacy getting married on the biggest holiday in New York City at the biggest
No,
stadium. But
no.
people were like, she invited 1,000 people and they needed whatever. I don't know. Somebody owns a private island somewhere. Okay. Like,
Definitely.
I
Definitely.
just find this hard to be.
A castle that would like in Scotland or something, that could have been nice and on brand. You
There
could
was
have had
this,
500 people too, not 1,000. Could
yes,
have been this is
there
this
was Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is what I was thinking. I was uh reading, seeing stuff on the internet. And I really do like I feel this from her. Like the Eras tour, how could you ever possibly top the Eras tour, right? Just in
It
production
was a produced,
and
yes.
and just like her achievement of it, that like she did this and everyone was like, you're an athlete, you're crazy, this is so impressive. You're blowing stats out of the water, you're physically performing. Like she was at like the very like tip top. And every night it was like her show, right? I believe, and I can understand this, I believe that she just needed a recreation of that feeling that she got from the Eras tour. And she used her wedding to do it. And the reason why I thought this is because I had a similar experience. I got married in 2016 when I was 28, and it was great, right? It was the best. It was like the most wonderful, magical, lovely time. And then 2 years later, I was turning 30, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to recreate my wedding. I'm gonna have the same DJ. I'm gonna have like all the people there. I'm gonna like get this feeling back. And I feel like that's what she wanted to do with this wedding. She wanted the Eras tour again, even down to like the gowns and the scenery of it all.
The
She can't let it go.
castle.
And can't you
That's
I
a
blame her?
take.
Can't you
That's a
blame her?
take.
That is a take. I appreciate this take. You know where she lost me?
Adam Sandler.
Adam
The raffles, the
Sadler.
raffles
The raffles. I
at your
this is
wedding?
this is tacky. I thought she had more taste than this, but because you're wealthy does not equate taste.
And
And
why did you think she had
this is
taste?
proven. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know
mean,
either. I don't know either.
I was gonna say, like, I'm trying to think, like, when have I ever felt like
yeah,
my girl's
No,
got
you're right.
taste?
You're right.
taste.
She misses with fashion all the time.
Tastemaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she never really hits it. You're right. No, no.
It's so
I
funny
mean,
because after she started dating Travis, she started wearing this ugly, gaudy jewelry that he started giving her. I'm like, girl, I need for you to push back. I know it's a gift, but like, let him know this tacky
scared us at the
cross
home.
necklace ain't it.
I have to say one more thing about their relationship, just generally, Delora. You made me think about it with us all thinking they were going to make it work at first. The only thing that contradicts that in terms of my thoughts about their relationship is this may be the first dude who is more like likes her more than she may have liked him. Like I feel like a lot of these
Ooh,
other dudes she dated, Harry,
they're
even
they're the
Tom,
emotional
Jake.
archetype.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
feel like she probably swooned and was writing in the diary at night. Oh my God. And then Travis was like
what they call golden retriever
starstruck.
energy.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he knew how lucky he was
to
to
be with
land
her.
her.
Yeah, I think you need that in that dynamic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
um yeah, any other thoughts on this wedding? Because again, for
I just
her
want to
to
know.
want privacy, all of her guests were doing pap walks into the stadium. I,
We signed
are we
NDA.
gonna get a
We got
Disney? Are we
NDA.
gonna get a yeah, NDA? Are we getting a Disney video of this?
100%.
Do you think she's
It's gonna be in a boxed DVD set at Target. I like for sure.
do you think I heard rumors that she was doing this to try to get in with the possible residency that she might do between either
Mm,
MSG or in Vegas, and the guy
mm.
who's over MSG is over both that and like a casino in Vegas. Do you think, Kristel, that that's what she's pushing towards? Like, is this also a business element to it, you think?
You're like, why would she have to do that as leverage? She's Taylor Swift. Aren't they just going to give it to her? Why does she have to have
Right.
her wedding there? It's her wedding.
She's
That's
trying
so
to
weird. But
tax
that
right
wasn't
off her
funny.
wedding.
It wasn't a wedding. It was a show. Like that was
It
It
a
was
was
a
a
show.
show.
She performed her she performed at her own wedding. Yeah.
can't be true, right? I also heard that she walked down the song to an acoustic version of her, like of her
One of
song.
her songs. Yeah,
That's
I heard
crazy,
that too.
guys. Really think about that. Like, I don't know
Ashley.
if you're married or not, but like, I
I
would.
had not heard
Yes.
that. That's like the people who have sex to their own music. Like it's a little.
That's crazy. It's really,
This is
really crazy.
my final straw, y'all. My final straw. It was buffet style.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Kristel, was like, I don't even go to buffets regularly.
People had to hold their food as they walked back to their seat in a plate in their dresses.
It was a variety of
Bradley Cooper
food.
had to carry a plate of food back to his seat.
Sushi, pasta, chicken, Italian, Chinese, American favorites.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what? This is me being kind.
That's
maybe,
Travis' side of the family. That's Travis.
maybe,
They
maybe
both
they
country,
actually
so
got married before this event. Maybe. I don't know.
oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they got legally married and had a little intimate thing. I'm sure they did. Probably.
And this was the party. But
Probably.
like, okay. But again,
But
she
tacky as
invited
fuck.
the media to her wedding. So that's why I'm like,
Like I just wish she would have gone like a private castle in Scotland or something, and then
yeah,
just beautiful, gorgeous
check it
weekend.
out.
You know,
Yes.
maybe the celebrity, her celeb friends are arriving on a little boat by the sea, whatever. Like it's cute. It's not Lake Como. Go to Lake Como. Just like be normal,
Right.
Oh,
girl. Be
God.
Basil
normal,
just did it
girl.
though, so she probably didn't want to do that. But what I will also say to this privacy thing is we still don't know when, where, or how Zendaya and Tom got married. And they're together.
Yeah.
And law is taunting us on what that woman wore. And I need to know one day. I need to know Z
Do
one
you think we
day.
will? Do you think we will?
I don't think so. I
In
think
10 years, like we did with
probably.
Beyonce when we finally got a glimpse of her wedding dress.
And we found out she didn't even like it. Her mom made her dress and she didn't even like it.
She looked beautiful.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Z in this Odyssey tour. It's unreal at this point. Like, it makes no sense on how many home runs, let's use more sports metaphors, she and Law are able to do at one. This is the most legendary press tour I've ever seen in my life, and I thought she did well with the Spider-Man and the drama with the something old, something new, something blue, something
Yeah.
new.
It's crazy. I told you guys, I'm annoyed. Like I'm honestly annoyed because she just keeps like every time you see her, you're like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you wear everything and yet nothing wears you? Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
How?
Honey,
yes.
girl, you have a way with words. I see why you're in this podcast game because abso-fucking-lutely, like to be amongst the highest of high fashion, but whenever I see her wear something, I'm thinking nobody else could make that look as good as Zendaya just made that look. And also, real quick, shout out to her hairstylist shutting it
The
down.
makeup,
Corey,
the makeup, also the ethereal, like that glow she had when she wore that scaparelli.
Oh,
I mean, oh my gosh. And who can wear wings unironically on a red carpet?
honey.
And it's an ode to Athena's owl. Like, it's so, the storytelling is so
artful.
spectacularly done time and time and time again. They are busting out archives. They are snatching dresses off the runway.
So, Kristel, what was your favorite look? What's your favorite look of these?
The white one, the white with the angel wings,
Okay, so this
Yeah.
latest one.
the latest one.
Fecal matter. That's the American way of saying this brand, which is insane to me. But yeah, they're new, like I said, French designer that Law found on the runway years ago and was like, "Can you hold this for me?" And they held it
The
and they didn't even
vision.
do anything with it.
The
Okay.
vision.
But yeah, the wings, I quoted, I'm a huge Bridgerton fan. I was like, flawless, my dear. Flawless.
10, 10, 10. The Scaparelli dress.
Across the board.
The Scaparelli dress. Honey, when that came across my timeline, I about choked. I said, you got to be kidding me.
You like gasp out loud.
It's like the museum.
Dang.
It's like the museum piece, right? With
And
the,
then to find out that man went to the show, said, hold on, I got to get this model. Go ahead and take this off because I got to go. I got to get this on the jet. I got to get this back for tonight.
And
Like
she's
to
gonna
be at that
keep
level
going.
too in his career.
Yeah. No, she's yeah, she can't do I do even envision ever a time when she misses. Like that's where we are. That's where I am right now. I'm like, I don't even know.
I think there may have been only one time
Mm.
in the last several years that I saw something she wore that I was like, I don't love
Like womp
this,
womp.
but
Yeah,
it
like
was still on theme. And I
yeah.
think it was like not even a red carpet, it was more like a press event or something. I was like, I don't necessarily love it, but red carpets,
Do
there's
you
no comparison.
do you guys think or do you know this? Is she like actively working with this? Like, is she just her voice? Does she have a voice?
Her and Law are like peanut butter and jelly. They go
Yep.
together real bad.
Okay.
Um, like that's what makes their situation so magical because Law stouts other people and he does it really well. But when him and Z, it's an alchemy for sure. Y'all, again, what's my favorite? I don't even know because the fact that she busted out a 1997 Givenchy designed by Alexander McQueen and wore that hat in front of the Eiffel Tower. That whole getup is called the Golden Fleece, which is Greek mythology. Like I, they are layers to these to what they are doing, and I love it and I eat it up
I
every time.
want to know if Law keeps a fashion Bible. Like, does he have a thematic
Like an
fashion
encyclopedia
Bible?
or something.
Because how do you remember all this shit?
Like archives. You have, yeah, there has to be
Yeah,
a Dewey
you
Decimal
know,
Dewey
fashion.
Decimal System of Fashion. Yep.
It has
you
to
know
be.
who was that in real life? Andre Leontelli. And Law has given Andre, props for his legendary run in the fashion world.
Girl,
So
he bought his coat for $50,000.
yes, he did. Archive.
Yes.
So all
Yeah.
right. Well, we have had you for an
I know
hour.
it's getting dark in here. I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys. The light disappeared on me. It was too close.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we go though, Ashley, what are we recapping next week?
Oh, right. Forgot. Okay. So, for our next episode, we are going to recap another documentary. You guys know we love a true crime doc on this pod. And this one is one that I had as a hidden gem previously. Oh, we're going to have to get into it. And it's still a little sad, but it is popular. Maternal Instinct on
I've been hearing about
Netflix.
this.
Yeah, it's
I
a
needed to watch a
doozy.
cartoon after. That's how
Yeah, I can.
depressing that story was.
It's a
I've heard it's really
doozy.
good, but I don't know if I can take that right now personally. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Totally understand. You can listen to just our thoughts on it and never
Yeah.
have to turn
Yeah.
it
I, think-
on.
I think I would like that better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, come back and stick with us for that, guys. But Kristel, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us for today's
you.
Thank
episode.
you,
It was
thank you, thank
such a pleasure
you.
to have you. Shout out a little bit promotion of how people can get in touch with you and listen to your pod.
Yes, please. Follow me on Instagram at What the Fit Podcast. There's links. I'm on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all the places you get podcasts. And then my personal Instagram, where just a lot of fun stuff happens, is at Chrissy Girly, Krissy Girly.
And
Love
your
it.
picture on your podcast is so cute. It's very
Oh,
fire. Like, oh, I'm like, I see you out here, girl.
thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying.
No, you had me side eyeing our logo. I was like, maybe time for a revamp, baby.
Revamp. Oh, and one of my
Inspo.
favorite rebrands in recent years, her name is Les. She used to do like uh wellness for Black girls podcast or something like that, but she's rebranded to She's So Lucky. And so she's been doing she does such a great job with like that rebrand, and like she has like ways to be lucky and like different segments because she also do interviews and solo episodes. So I recommend her
Yeah.
podcast as
No,
well.
yeah, I will
So
check it out. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I'm gonna go
I
take a look.
know.
Enjoy your walk. Enjoy the
Enjoy.
benefits of that, whatever you decide to throw on and listen to in that time to yourself. But thank you for joining us. Guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. We appreciate it. Please share this episode out with everybody that you know. We'll be back. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.